Hey, how's it going? I'm gearing up for a feature, and I thought this might be a good time to shoot a video for you guys to show you what it's like, both gearing up to go out on a feature, and also hopefully as much as possible while I'm on set. You know, I don't typically have help while I'm there. I don't have somebody with me to film me while I'm shooting. So I might not be able to get a lot of good footage like that, but as much as possible, I'll try to set up a camera and, you know, keep the GoPro going. And, you know, as I'm moving around set, interacting, prepping things, getting ready for shots. And then, you know, as much as possible, I'll try to share some footage from that when that becomes possible. So check it out. Here we go. All right. One of the big things I'm prepping here is the Blackmagic Pocket 6K on my Whoopmaster 6. So I've got that out. I haven't been flying it a lot lately because I haven't had any gigs that required it. So basically I got it out, you know, put a battery on it, powered it up. I'm checking out my ND filter selection. I got 3 different NDs for this lens, you know, making sure everything is good, shooting some test footage. I went and flew around the neighborhood, shooting a little test footage. Again, this rig, there's a lot going on here and a lot of little things. For instance, it's been stored away since before the hurricane, and I brought it out. When I turned it on, the little green light didn't come on. Then it sort of came on, and then it was intermittent. It was funky, and it really scared me. What I realized is that this little ribbon cable here, apparently from fastening and unfastening this, the little thing flipped up, which holds that ribbon cable in place. And so luckily that's all it was, nothing major wrong with it. But, you know, checking all my cable connections, like this is the BEC power that I then go to power my GoPro Bones, which I use for my gyro data. You know, checking my cables. This is the USB to my drive, all of that stuff, basically checking everything. And then thinking about what extra stuff I'm gonna need while I'm out. I've got an extra set of these carbon propellers. And then I've got some other ones that are not carbon, but are the same propeller. So hopefully 2 sets of those would be plenty. If they're not, then I'm doing something wrong. I've got my screen for this also, which I hooked up and tested. Made sure that's all working. And then from there, it's down here at the moment, but the Inspire 2. So I've got a couple of Inspire 2s, and what I needed to do was get those out and fly them around, both of them, which I've flown this one in my prime so far, and it flies fine. But you know, just tweaking things. Get both my gimbals out. I have 2 X5S gimbals, and checking all my lenses, all my gimbals, my Shendrones controller. Also checking everything on that, refreshing my brain on what all of my special control buttons do. So, you know, if you don't fly that every day, which lately I've been doing a lot more Mavic 3 and a lot more regular FPV. So yeah, you know, just getting my brain back in the game. Then of course the next thing I'm gonna do once I make sure all my gear is working properly and everything's good, I'm not missing anything, is go back into my lists. I have an ongoing spreadsheet that is the sort of idiot-proof list for preparing for a trip like this. And I'll go down the list, I'll break all my cases out in the living room, and I'll show you what those look like too. And I'll start reorganizing, because, you know, when you're back at the shop, back at home, things come out of cases, and they really all have to be put back in an organized way. So yeah, I'll show you a bit of that. Check it out. So one of the main things I got to do this week, in addition to testing all the drones, is pack these cases. You know, of course, I've been shuffling them around in different ways for different gigs here and there. So for this one, I'm going to put together the double-decker Pelican, forget the name of it, but I'll put that in the video there. And this one is amazing because it's actually pretty tight. It's got the lid organizer, of course, which I'm retaping with some new extra sticky double-sided to get that to work. And then the Whoopmaster 6 with the Black Magic goes in the bottom of that. To really pack it down, actually, I'll take the camera off. And it goes in there, all the little pieces and parts go in there, and then ultimately then that lid, that second story, goes on there, and all kinds of stuff goes in there. I think actually I won't bring that. So yeah, I've got tons of room for all kinds of stuff, and I'll end up basically with most of my kit in this one case. And then I also bring, this one is always good as my carry-on, you know, and I put basically, because, you know, got to bring all those drone batteries on the plane, so all the batteries will go in there. And then of course the Inspire charger goes on. So yeah, we pull all the batteries out of that, put them all in there and carry that on. And for this run, I'm only bringing, because it's a feature film, I'm only bringing the Inspires, the main Inspire and the backup Inspire, the Whoopmaster 6 with the Black Magic 6K, and then all the batteries. I got 6 4500 batteries for the Whoopmaster, and gosh, I don't know, 10, maybe 10 sets of TB50s for the Inspire, bunch of them. So yeah, let's start packing. So one of the things, of course, always have your drivers. I got a 1.5, a 2, and a 2.5, and you know, those will just go in here. I've also, just in case, I generally have one of these, which I'll bring that just in case, because you just never know if I need a 5 or something like that. Typically I bring a little bit of this sticky putty for soldering and stuff, but now I've actually got this, which will pack down nice and small. The Omnifixo, which you should definitely check out for helping hands. Yep, so that'll go in for sure. You know, take your basic soldering stuff, and then I also have you know, a couple of these, which I will load up with just a good variety of all sizes of screws that I might need, nuts, you know, just a basic toolkit. I'll bring some good tweezers. Just make sure I have everything to be able to do fixes in the field. So yeah, going through and grabbing that stuff. Of course, I'm gonna need a couple of these hard drives at least. I'll bring 3 of them. I have 2 1 terabyte drives and a 2 terabyte drive. And then I will also bring the Mavic 3 Cine, just because it's small enough to just pack in here, I believe. And then I have it, I can, you know, there's always a chance if I shoot a hyperlapse or something like that, they might be happy with that. I'll have it anyway. Of course, I gotta also bring the charger. So now I have this ISDT pretty badass charger with a parallel splitter, so I can really do everything, and it packs down nice and tight, goes right in that case. Alright, discharging Inspire batteries down to 25%. I love that charger. Here's my Pelican. I'm systematically packing with heavy batteries. I got 8 sets for the Inspire, 6 4500s for the Whoopmaster, and then a variety of others for headsets and for the Avata and the Mavic 3. Got, oh yeah, check this out. This is, instead of a puffer, I have a puffer too, but This is like a hardcore, really awesome blower. My lipo charger, set of goggles. Oh yeah, the the Leatherman Skeletal. The Skeletal, which has a ratchet. So this has, you know, screwdrivers, a bunch of different things, and then I've got this full bit set for it with a ratchet driver. So that replaces a whole lot of items in a really compact way. Yeah, basically that Leatherman gives me all kinds of screwdrivers plus driver bits. 2 mil, 2.5, 3, yeah, pretty much everything I need in one tool. I mean, realistically, actually, I could leave this behind, now that I think about it. I'll make sure I have a 5 in there. I think I do. And then, yeah, lens wipes, an extra GoPro Bones, bunch of cables, HDMI to SDI converter for send and feed. Yeah, the old axis to send feed if I need to, lenses, etc. Whoopmaster down in here. So this is the top shelf to this Pelican. Sits in here beautifully. There's the Blackmagic Pocket 6K. Got some goggles down in here. The Inspire. Old controller, Sendence, 2 Crystal Skies, propellers, one of the gimbals. There's another gimbal in here with the extra Inspire, the backup. And then this case, I think this is a 1650, which I use as my luggage. So what I'll do is I'll put anything in here gear-wise, like I think the Avata and the Mavic are in here and some other stuff, and then I'll pack clothes in there, and that'll be my luggage. And then ideally what I try to do is take this cool duffel and I'll just lay that on top of that stuff and get it in that case. That way when I get where I'm going, I will use this as my clothes traveling around, you know, just keep all my clothes in there and set that back to being all drone, minimize my footprint, or sort of detangle my clothes from my drone stuff. And here's what it looks like when I get it to the airport. End up with 6 Pelicans, 5 check and 3 carry-on. That's the batteries. Alright, a couple of days have elapsed. I'm in LA, and it's now time to load cases out for an early morning start. Whew. Let's do this. Alright, not much light here, but we're at these awesome sand dunes up above LA, and it's time to break out the gear. Alright, yeah, getting going here. One of the things about showing up on a set for the first day is figuring out where you got to be, where you want to be. So camera truck is here. I ended up moving everything over here, myself a table set up, and we'll see if this ends up being my spot for the day, but I'll have a tent and I'll be right by camera truck, so that's probably a good place to be. So went up and got some shots. The usual here is to keep batteries charging. Transferring files. Go ahead and clear that card while I have a minute. Shooting Cinema DNG, which fills up one of these 480 gig cards in about 15 minutes. So that has completed. I'm using Hedge. All right, so we're gonna grab a couple more shots and then it'll be drone time. Knocked out a couple of shots, and now I'm doing what I do a lot of, which is charging batteries. Always keep lots of freshies. Basically, I just keep topping them up, right? And changing up these cards. Because we're shooting Cinema DNG, we have to constantly be offloading files. So, just doing a lot of that. Oh boy, real early today. Gotta be there at 5. Bit of a drive out. So here we go. Well, this happens. So basically, I'm sitting in the truck. They are shooting a scene. They're shooting a scene right now, and oh, they've just cut. So I'm. What is it? It's almost 2 o'clock. I think it's around, yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I basically shot a little bit at sunrise, but we're all sucked in with clouds today, and this is supposed to be Kalahari, African desert. So they're still shooting, but they're shooting certain kinds of shots, and so far no drone. All right, another day. This is a nice late start. They switched me up so I didn't have to get out here till 10 a.m. today. They're doing some shots at the plane crash site, and then I'm going to do some top-down shots of the site. So if possible, I'll get set up and film it when I'm actually working this time. We'll see. So while you wait, it's always a good idea to get just as ready as you can possibly be. So I'm spending some time with my tripod and my monitor. This monitor, I can just HDMI into the Inspire controller, this Indents, and also offer my goggles if I'm doing FPV. So yeah, just get that ready to go. Oh, if I need it, I'll just pull it out. It'll be ready to rock. All right, well, here we are, another day on set. And I'm actually in the truck, just hanging out around the trailers, base camp, and transferring some files. So I'm backing up all of my cards that I shot this morning. I did some sunrise shots, and I also went out and did some, basically there's a plane crash in this film, and I'm doing a little sort of POV, you know, which they will work into the green screen shots. So here's what that looks like. This is, you know, POV plane crash headed for the ground, and yeah, then running along the ground with the FPV, because we wanted that with the Blackmagic. So running along the ground, super shaky, all over the place, real chaotic. They were gonna throw a GoPro, and I said, you know, I think this shot with the Blackmagic will look good. So I'm actually downloading that right now. I'm gonna check it out. But if I'm showing it to you now, then it probably looks half decent. And I might go back out this afternoon too, because I don't have a lot of prescribed shots with the cast or crew, really. I'm doing just kind of going out on my own a couple of times. So once these files are finished, then I'll have a copy. I'll hand off this drive to the DIT, and then I'm gonna start going through a little bit of footage, and we'll see how it looks. All right, well, prepping for my last day on set. It actually got pushed. It was supposed to be yesterday, but it ended up being today, and it's gonna be at dusk. We're gonna do some chasing of the Jeep with the rebels, I think. All right, I am packing things up, organizing. You know, kind of got everything. That'll be batteries, getting batteries charged. Probably, again, won't take the Mavic 3 because it's just not really useful for this particular thing, but 6 of these 4500s for the FPV just in case. Probably won't use them all, but I tend to charge them all up and then discharge them if I don't need them. So yeah, here we go. So you can see me standing there on the left right here. Basically, I am set up with the Blackmagic 6K on the Whoopmaster 6-inch, and I'm gonna chase this truck. So I got the drone set up, and I'm walking over to my position where I want to be, and then I'll show you the first little bit here before we actually get into the shot, which I can't show you. But yeah, I'll kind of do a quick scope the area. There's the truck, and I'll loop around, get myself set and ready. And of course, this would be stabilized too with gyro flow. You can kind of basically see crew and area where we're working there. And yeah, I'm gonna sort of hold position. Now he's gonna go, so I'm leading him a bit, and then he's gonna come into frame, and I can't really show you the rest of the shot. So that really highlights some of the difficulties of trying to make this type of behind the scenes video by yourself. Like I said, I'm generally working solo. I don't have another person on the drone crew with me to kind of help, you know, shoot me. I do have spotters when I'm on, you know, a visual observer when I'm working, but yeah, it's hard to get myself filmed. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for some of you guys, at least showing how I get my equipment together, the types of you know, things that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis going out on a job like this, particularly that's a feature film. You know, dealing with basically schlepping a lot of gear around, making sure your gear is in shape every day, charging lots of batteries, discharging lots of batteries to keep your batteries healthy. You know, just all the various things that you got to do. And then the main thing on set is just be ready, be ready, be ready. You know, so that the moment they need something, then the moment they need you to get that shot, you're ready to get the shot and you nail it the first time. And that's kind of what you do. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Like and subscribe. I know it's been a while since I've put a video out, but yeah, I'm going to get back in the swing here and hit that notification bell, and then you'll know when I put something out. So hope to see you soon out there working. All right, take care.